sus4, sus2. All these extra colours. It's like going from, well, do you want red, blue or green, to a whole Pantone range of textures and colours. Hello everybody. Okay, let me put it out there. Boring chords equal boring music. There is nothing more frustrating than not having the harmonic vocabulary to express the ideas you hear in here. You can hear these amazing musical phrases, you can hear this extraordinary melody in your head, but somehow, when you come to play or record them, they're a shadow of what you were hearing. You need the harmonic vocabulary to be able to fulfill your musical potential. And that is why I'm delighted to be able to tell you about our new course, Practical Harmony, and the clue is very much in the name. It's about the chords, the harmony that you use in your music every single day. So whether you're a composer, a songwriter, performing musician, you need to own this space in order to set your musical spirit free. Okay? So at the end of this video, we're going to be giving you a complete video tutorial from the course. But first, what I want to do is take a simple musical phrase and then walk through from very, very simple to much more complicated, different ways of adding chords and harmony to it, okay? So we'll go from simple to complex. And we're going to do that back in the shed. And so back to the shed to explore the harmonic possibilities of a very simple little phrase. Here is the keyboard. Let's have a simple phrase like this. Couldn't be much simpler than that. Let's start by just adding simple triads to it. So here's a C major triad. There's the root, that's on C, there's the third, that's on E, there's the fifth, which is on G. Let's go up to chord 4, F major. Sounds all right. It's a little bit... We can make this more interesting without making it much more complicated, and that's by using different chord voicings. That is, voicings are the way you distribute the notes across the keyboard, what notes you double, things like that. Have a listen to this. Already, I think you'll agree, that's sounding a little bit more, okay, a bit more interesting. Let's add another one in, which is, this is inversion. So instead of having, there you got root, third and fifth in the chord, yeah? This time, let's try putting something other than the root in the bass. There's E, the third in the bass, that's the first inversion. There's G in the bass, that's the second inversion. Let's see how that makes a difference. First inversion. Second inversion of chord 4. I'm not expecting you, if this is any of this is new to you, I'm not expecting you to go, oh, I didn't know that. I'm just trying to show you the range of options, because we've gone from, a dozen options to probably thousands of options already. Different routes you can take each stage of the way. So we used inversions and voicing. What else can we do with this? I know what. We could change key. We could go... How did that happen? This touches on something which is extremely important and actually really right at the centre of a lot of this, which is where the pull towards what is harmonically feeling like home. Okay, it's called functional harmony. It's what I call harmonic gravity. Waits to be struck on the head by an apple, but not. Okay, and what's happened here, all we've done is we've changed the centre of gravity by going from C major to G major, and we've done it by going via what's called a secondary dominant, which is that D major chord in there. I'm not going to go into more detail, but this harmonic gravity is incredibly important, and that's something which again, you really need to own and understand how it works in order to be able to function and to allow your creativity to blossom. Right, so moving on from this, let's just introduce some relatively straightforward techniques. Let's go for a pedal. Pedal can be a held note, it can be a repeated note, but it's one which stays constantly and then the harmony plays against it. See how that works? Isn't that nice? What else can we add? Suspensions. Okay, this is a suspended chord. Here's a 4, suspended 4, suspended second, sus4, sus2. All these extra colours. It's like going from, do you want red, blue or green, to a whole Pantone range of textures and colours. This is what getting your head really around the whole harmonic universe can do. Okay, there's more than this. So far, I've been the sort of Bart Simpson of harmony, only using 3 fingers, 3 notes, but we can do more. Let's add a 4th in there, shall we? So up to now, we've had the root, the 3rd and the 5th, and we've had sus2s and sus4s. What happens if we add a 6th or a 7th? Okay, let's try this. That is a minor 6th chord. Isn't it gorgeous? That's C major 7. Now we're going to go up to a minor 7, D minor 7th, and then E minor 7. Suddenly we're in this kind of jazzy mood. But listen, that is, there's so much more to this. You see how far we've come in, 5 minutes. We've been doing this 5 minutes, and we've gone from to etc. But this is all in major keys. What happens if you go to minor keys? Lots of people freak out when it comes to minor harmony because there's sort of multiple minor scales and each one of them comes with different harmonic implications and it's okay, it's not hard. Okay, so we've just taken the same little simple phrase, translated it into a different mode, into the minor mode. So look, that's in 6 minutes, a journey of discovery. And that's how every time we introduce one of these new ideas, we're massively multiplying the number of options you have. And the challenge is, when I keep saying own this space, being able to fluently look at the keyboard or your guitar and understand what's going on and be able to know where the options are and have a combination of really good understanding of the theory and the practical skills to be able to incorporate that in your own musical language to expand your own harmonic vocabulary. Back to Guy. Okay, let me run you through exactly what is in the course. We start out with the absolute basics of what are chords and triads, how do they relate to keys and scales, and how does the whole thing fit together in the circle of fifths and all that malarkey. Okay, so once we've got that out of the way, we then start looking at ways you can embellish your harmony using different chord voicings, just like we did in the example, using inversions and how other people have used inversions in we call listening notes, where we go and listen to bits of film scores and songs and all kinds of things to hear how inversions and voicing and things have been used in famous bits of music you probably know. Then we start tackling the big one. How does melody and harmony how do they interact with each other? Because for any one melody, there are literally thousands of different ways you could harmonize that. It's a bewildering choice, but don't worry, we have got your back because there is a method to all this. There is a sort of hidden harmonic gravity almost, and it's a sort of hidden force that unites the vast majority of tonal music, and I'll be explaining to you exactly how that works and how that guides your choice of all these thousands of different chords which you could choose. Then we start giving you some toys to play with, if you like, pedals and suspensions. There are lots of different types of pedals and pedal notes, and there are a variety of different ways of using suspended chords. They completely add this sort of extra texture and spice to your music. Really useful, not complicated things to learn, but incredibly powerful when you start using them effectively. And then we move on. Up to now, we've been largely working with triads, but there doesn't have to be just 3 notes in a chord. We look at added note chords of the 6th and 7th, of which there are dozens of different variations if you include all the different inversions. So we'll be allowing you that space to expand your harmonic vocabulary to include these extraordinary new textures and colours, things which can genuinely bring your composition to life. Finally, there's minor harmony. A lot of people get somewhat bewildered and foxed by minor harmony because there are several different varieties of minor scale, and each variety of the scale brings with it a different set of chords and harmonic implications. But don't worry, because there is a relatively straightforward way through this, and we are going to be sharing that with you so that you fully understand how to do minor harmony. So, this, of course, is just Practical Harmony 1. Coming later this year is Practical Harmony 2, where we'll explore some more advanced concepts: modal harmony, chromatic harmony, jazz harmony, borrowed chords, parallel chords, all that kind of stuff. But there's no point in moving on to that until you completely own, in a really intuitive way, the stuff we're talking about in Practical Harmony 1. Because Practical Harmony 1 is the stuff which probably occupies 80 to 90% of the music which you're going to be writing and playing. This is an immersive learning experience. This is about you doing, not you just sitting there on the sofa or virtual sofa or whatever it is, taking all this in. So, for example, there's -1 project. We'll give you a short piece of music which is missing one element, might be chord progression, whatever else. That's for you to add. So we're not just giving you a blank sheet of paper and saying, go away, have a nice time. No, we give you something which is half complete and you have to complete it. So it's a very quick way of getting a satisfying experience of adding your new knowledge to an existing piece of music. There's interactive widgets, which are specially written bits of software, which are both entertaining and educational, so that you will be able to explore new ideas through those. There's interactive video and there's quizzes, all kinds of things which will draw you in and help really cement your learning. And something brand new for this course, it's called jams. You see, one of the great joys of really understanding and owning this harmonic space is that you can look at a chord chart, a series of chords, and you can translate that into a performance on a keyboard or piano. So we thought, why not allow you to play along with our house band? We have a virtual band, and you are going to play along with them. We give you the chord charts, we give you the band, and you get the experience of what it is like to play with other musicians. Plus, we're not just going to leave you there saying, okay, here's the theory, go away and work out how to put it into practice yourself, because a lot of you will want to uplift your skills as a keyboard player or guitarist. And so we've got tutorials on keyboard playing and guitar as well. So Lucy's here to explain how to translate these harmonic ideas into keyboard improvisation. And then there will be Tom, who will be doing the same thing on the guitar. So there's lots and lots of ways for you to get involved. But best of all, there is an enormous community, a ThinkSpace community, thousands of students, people just like you who share your passions and your interests. So come and join the Discord server, where you will find dedicated channels for Practical Harmony, plus people on all kinds of other courses with whom you can collaborate, you can get feedback on your music, and of course you can make friends. Right, I've gone on enough. I hope you found this useful. Let's end with a tutorial from the course, which I hope you'll also really enjoy. And come and sign up. There's a money-back guarantee, so if it's not for you, that's absolutely fine. Take the plunge, come and join us, jump into the Discord channel and let's have a chat. That's all from me. See you again very soon. Let us start with suspensions. What is a suspension? Okay, there's 2 types as far as you're concerned. There's going to be a suspension which is just a chord in its own right, and then there's a suspension which is a harmonic device. Let me explain what the chord is to start with, because that's probably the easiest bit to get your head round. If we start with a straightforward triad, here's C major. Okay. If you see on a guitar sheet or something saying C sus4, what it means is this. So you move the 3rd up to the 4th note of the scale. Okay? That is a sus4 chord. It has a very distinctive personality of its own. The other one which you need to know, there's two types of sus chords. There's a suspended fourth chord and a suspended second chord. So instead of taking that third and moving it up one, you take the third and you move it down one. So it goes to the second note of the scale. You can play it as a chord. Or you can arpeggiate it. It's got a really, really useful role in composition, songwriting, everything else, because it's neither major nor minor. And that gives it a kind of ambiguity, which is incredibly useful. It's also just a different harmonic texture, which you will start, now you know what to listen for, and we'll go and do some listening in a minute, you'll suddenly start hearing it everywhere, honestly. This is why, and you see what I mean? How simple is that? You just move the third up a semitone. Any chord. So you can, if it's a minor chord, you can take it. You take that third up to the fourth note there, or down to the second note there. Or if it's a major chord, you do the same. So this is a sus4 chord. This is a sus2 chord. Now, how did this originate, and what is this harmonic device thing you're talking about? Okay, well, how it originated is in classical four-part harmony. Essentially, when you're moving from one chord to another, for example, going from chord 1 to chord 5, yeah, you wouldn't do that, but anyway, it doesn't matter. One way you can make that more interesting and less blocky is by just delaying one of the notes moving down. So it goes like this. Okay, that's a suspension. And it works, you can do it the other way. You can do it from chord 4, going from 4 to 1, for example. There's lots of ways in which you find a way of taking one note, the third, and letting it hang back. So you get that dissonance, which in the run of a chord progression wants to resolve. If you're just playing it as a chord, it sounds fine. If you're going, what are you expecting it to do? Yes! And that suspension, that yearning to resolve to a more stable chord, gives it enormous emotional power. And as we'll find out in a bit, it's a technique much used by film composers, songwriters, when they want to inject some yearning into their composition. Suspensions at top of the shop, absolutely top of the shop, okay? Go away and have a play with that and see how you get on.